Did you know that when Austin Butler's character is fighting on the planet Getty Prime in Dune Part 2, it's actually in black and white because the planet orbits a black sun that gives this type of effect. This is why at nighttime or when you're inside buildings on the planet you see things in color, but outside you see things in black and white. And while Austin Butler ended up gaining 25 pounds of muscle to play Feyd Rautha in the film, he said he toned down his method acting from previous roles before. Because with things like Elvis, he said he got so immersed in that role and character for 3 years that is all he thought about day and night, but he figured that would not be a healthy thing to do with the character Feyd Rautha, and his friends and family would think he was crazy. The craziest part about all of this is if you scramble the letters of Denis Villeneuve's name, it's actually an anagram for elves live in Dune, which you could actually pronounce as Elvis lives in Dune, which is so stupid it's my new favorite thing. Did you know that if Timothée Chalamet turned down the role of Paul Atreides in Dune, the movies would have never been made? Director Denis Villeneuve came out and said this before the release of the first Dune movie, that they had no plan B for another actor to take on the role, and he has no idea what they would have done. Denis Villeneuve has also come out and said there will be no extended editions or deleted scenes released from either of the Dune movies. He says that cutting Thufir Hawat from Dune Part 2 was one of the most painful choices he had to make, and I agree with him. He said the main reason for cutting the character is because he didn't want to focus on Mentats as much, and he was one, and they're basically superhuman computers if you didn't know. Which is kind of an odd choice since Mentats play such a huge role in the next book and movie Dune Messiah. It's even more heartbreaking when you realize a couple months ago Stephen McKinley Henderson, who plays Thufir Hawat, was talking about how he loved working with Austin Butler and how unsettling he was in their scenes together. But perhaps the biggest thing left out of the book in Dune Part 2 is the fact that Paul and Chani actually have a child in the book, and his name is Leto II after Paul's father. He's eventually hunted down and killed by the Emperor Sardaukar, and this is a huge reason for Paul actually taking his revenge on the Harkonnens and Emperor. The fact that Stellan Skarsgård had to sit in 8 hours of makeup to get prepared to be the Baron in the movie, and he couldn't drink or eat anything all day because he couldn't go to the bathroom with the makeup on. Or that this is actually the second film in which a Josh Brolin character has fought hand-to-hand combat with a Dave Bautista character. The first film being them in Infinity War as Drax and Thanos. Speaking of weird actor connections, this is actually the second movie in which Timothée Chalamet proposes to a character played by Florence Pugh, the first being Little Women back in 2019.